Yu Ayase transferred to Saika Academy, a place where gifted students train their talents like their whole lives depended on it. But Yu had no special talent at all. On his very first day, the vice captain of the martial arts club beat him up in front of everyone and called him a weak loser, and the rest of the crowd laughed at him too, because his mother, Subaru Ayase, was a legendary actress and one of the biggest prodigies in the school's history. The vice captain thought Yu would show some hidden talent, since the school's top 3 students, known as the 3 Royals, were watching him, but Yu was sick of hearing people compare him to his mother. He tried to attack the vice captain, but his punch was so weak it barely did anything. So the vice captain threw him to the ground, and everyone saw again that Subaru's son was just painfully average. Still, Yu stayed calm, and told the vice captain that the most obsessed people chasing talent are always the average ones. For a moment, the vice captain felt a sharp charm in Yu that reminded him of Subaru, but he still thought Yu should be beaten until his talent woke up. He tried to attack again, but Nico, the martial arts club president and one of the 3 royals, kicked him away. The other 2 royals, Kazuki, the top theater actress, and Miwa, the genius shogi player, showed up too. Kazuki asked about Yu's test results, but when she found out he had no talent, she bluntly said there was no place for him in a school for talented people. Yu showed them his acceptance letter for the general education course, which shocked them because they barely even knew such a course existed. Yu tried to leave, but Nico stopped him and said losers had to clean the dojo. Yu said he wasn't their servant, but he still cleaned it anyway. Later, when the martial arts team came back, the dojo was spotless, and everyone was shocked at how clean it was. On his way to his new home, Yu remembered his past. Since he was a child, he wanted to be amazing like his mother, so he tried acting and many other things. But every time he saw Subaru's real talent, he realized how far below her he was. Because of his failures, he started to distance himself from her, even though she was his only family. When Subaru got sick, she would keep watching one of her old shows where she played the mother of a happy family, and Yu told her he liked the dinner scenes where the family sat together and talked. Subaru agreed that those scenes were her favorite too, so Yu realized that behind all the fame, his mother just wanted a normal happy family. Before he could give her that, she passed away and left a letter telling Yu to find his own happy family. Yu arrived at the Mikadono mansion, where he was supposed to live because the owner had a connection to his late mother. He got excited seeing the huge house, but Nico suddenly attacked him, thinking he was a burglar, and slipped into an embarrassing position. So instead of helping her properly, Yu teased her, put a towel on her head, and told her to calm down while drying her hair. Kazuki and Miwa showed up too, and Yu got even more confused because all 3 royals lived in the same house. His phone rang, and the mansion owner explained that Subaru was his friend and benefactor, so he was letting Yu stay there as a favor in return, and then revealed that the 3 girls were his daughters. Yu understood that his mother's dream had somehow brought him to the house of 3 genius sisters who clearly didn't want him there, but he still tried to introduce himself properly and hoped they could become a family. Then he noticed the state of the house. The kitchen was full of dirty dishes, laundry was everywhere, and the rooms looked like nobody had cleaned them properly. Kazuki was supposed to wash the dishes, but she was busy with theater, and Yu found broken plates, which proved she tried but failed badly. Miwa was in charge of laundry, but she failed to do it too, and Nico was supposed to clean, but failed too. The sisters got embarrassed and started attacking Yu instead, making fun of his low test score and calling him useless. But while they were busy insulting him, Yu quietly cleaned the whole mansion, and when they finally looked around, the house was shining. Nico remembered he had also cleaned the dojo, and the girls realized that Yu might be average at everything else, but he was strangely good at housework. His good looks also irritated them because he was useless, but still hard to ignore. The next morning, Yu woke up happy because there was no school, but the house started shaking since Nico was already doing hard training in her private dojo. Miwa was eating sweets while playing shogi against an AI, and Kazuki was making a weird green drink for her routine. Kazuki explained that all this was normal for them because just like ordinary people brush their teeth in the morning, they trained their talents every day. Yui wanted them all to eat breakfast together, but Kazuki had rehearsal. Miwa only cared about snacks and shogi, and Nico refused his food because it didn't fit her nutrition plan. Yu remembered Subaru also followed strict diets for acting roles and would reject breakfast, so he started to realize that prodigies lived in their own world, so focused on improving themselves that they forgot about the people around them. When the 3 sisters rushed out, Yu stopped them and told them they were forgetting something. They panicked and checked their bags, but nothing was missing. Yu just wished them a good day and sent them off like a family. The girls called it a stupid and unnecessary act, but their faces turned red as they left, because for the first time, someone sent them off like a family, and they liked it more than they wanted to admit. Yu was washing dishes in the mansion when Mr. Mikadono called and told him that because of work, he wouldn't come home often, so Yu would spend more time with the 3 sisters. He asked Yu for a favor, saying he wanted Yu to support his daughters, because even geniuses hit a wall sometimes, and if Yu helped them during tough times, maybe they would slowly open up to him. Yu learned that Kazuki had a difficult audition coming up, Nico had a martial arts tournament, and Miwa had important shogi matches, so he couldn't figure out how someone talentless like him could help these three monsters. But when he imagined them failing, he remembered his own pain when people saw him as his mother's disappointment. That's why he decided to help them as much as he could, starting with the most basic family thing, eating together. Later, Nico came home after practice and got scared seeing Yu in the kitchen because she forgot he lived there now. Yu was cooking and asked her to taste the food, and she almost agreed but then remembered her strict diet and rejected it, saying she wouldn't melt for his cooking and left to take a bath. When she came back, Yu was still cooking with cookbooks, not joking anymore but studying every ingredient like his life depended on dinner. Miwa came too, but both sisters ignored him when he proudly said he would make the best food for them. Nico remembered that she and her sisters even rejected food from professional chefs because she always controlled her food to keep her body perfect for martial arts. But while eating her dry meal, she got curious and checked Yu's food, which looked really good. And before she could react, Yu explained that he made the meal with the right protein, vitamins, and nutrients for her training. In the end, Nico sat down and tried the food. Yu was so tired from planning the meal that he collapsed, but he told her he made it just for her. Nico quietly praised the taste, embarrassed, and Yu felt like he had tamed a stray cat with food. Miwa was secretly watching them and drooling over the food, so when she came down, Yu gave her a special meal too, made to support her brain during shogi. Nico realized Yu hadn't just made random dishes, but had prepared a different meal for each of them. Miwa agreed to eat too, and soon both sisters were sitting at the same table, teasing each other like normal siblings while eating. Yu was happy seeing this scene, because this was the kind of family he wanted. Then Kazuki showed up and saw them eating together, so Yu quickly offered her a dish and explained that it would be good for her skin, energy, and theater work. But Kazuki coldly rejected him, saying eating together wasn't her thing and left. Yu looked crushed, and Nico felt bad because he had worked so hard. She tried to eat Kazuki's plate herself, but Yu warned her that extra carbs would ruin her diet, so Nico got angry because she just wanted to comfort him. But Yu said from now on he would properly manage her meals, which made her even more flustered. Even after a few days, Yu made no progress with Kazuki, so he thought about facing her directly at school. He saw Kazuki surrounded by fans, and everyone recognized him as the talentless loser. Kazuki mocked him too and told him not to get close, but Yu asked her again to accept his special gift, meaning his cooking, but the fans took it the wrong way and thought something dirty was going on between them. Kazuki panicked and scolded him, making the misunderstanding worse, and Yu used the chaos to escape. He went to ask Nico for help, but her clubmates confronted him for acting too friendly with her, and Nico showed up with a scary look, so Yu realized this place wasn't safe. As a last option, he went to Miwa, who was quietly playing shogi on her phone in class. When her classmates got stuck on a math problem, Miwa solved it easily, but everyone got scared of her genius. Yu noticed that Miwa was quiet at school just like she was quiet at home, so he asked her to have lunch, but she refused and left. Yu kept following her around campus, which turned into a stupid chase, and in the end, both of them collapsed from exhaustion, proving Miwa was also bad at sports. Yu asked why she was so quiet in class, and Miwa admitted that normal school conversations were hard for her because she felt different as one of the royals. Yu said he understood since he was a royal too, but a royal failure, which made Miwa laugh, and she finally ate lunch with him. When Yu asked how to reach Kazuki, Miwa remembered that as a child, Kazuki looked really happy when their mother made food just for her, so Yu realized Kazuki's favorite food would be connected to their mother's cooking. Later, Yu tried to make something special, but Kazuki showed up looking sick and suddenly collapsed with a high fever. Her sisters tried to help, but Kazuki pushed everyone out and insisted she was fine. Yu kept sending food to her room, but she rejected everything, so he finally went in himself. Kazuki tried to throw him out, but her body gave up and she fell on Yu. Yu warned her that if she kept this up, she would miss rehearsals and offered to be her acting partner while she recovered. He bragged that he was Subaru's son and had been acting since he was a kid, so for a second, Kazuki thought maybe he had some hidden talent. But when Yu read the script, his acting was so bad that Kazuki immediately threw him out. Still, Yu kept coming back, reading the script, practicing, failing, and getting thrown out again. Kazuki got annoyed that he was bad at everything, but still wouldn't stop. One night, she came downstairs and saw Yu practicing lines while watching her performances on TV. His acting was still awful, but his effort was obvious. The next day, Yu showed up again as a practice partner, and this time, Kazuki let him stay. During the scene, Yu suddenly delivered a line properly, and he got emotional because after years of failure, it was the first time he had acted even one line right. Kazuki thought it was stupid, but she also felt jealous that Yu could face his weakness so honestly. In the end, Kazuki admitted defeat and agreed to eat his food, but only under one condition. Hiding under a blanket and embarrassment, she listed all the food she didn't like, which included carrots, mushrooms, and bell peppers. Yu finally realized that the great Kazuki wasn't rejecting him out of pride, she was just a picky eater. The next day, Nico and Miwa were shocked when Kazuki sat down to eat with them. Yu praised her for finishing her meal, and she said she could eat it as long as there were no carrots, but Yu quietly revealed he had blended carrots into the sauce. Kazuki panicked, while Yu felt relief because he had finally gotten all three sisters to eat at the same table. The next day, Yu felt proud that he had finally gotten all three sisters to the dinner table, but his happiness ended right away when they suddenly told him not to make dinner that day. When he asked why, they said they all had practice and work, so they would eat out, and they left like it was nothing. But Yu felt like his own family had dumped him. It reminded him of Subaru, who used to be away from home for long periods because of work, which made their bond distant too. Looking at the sisters, Yu realized they were just like his mother, talented, serious, and always moving forward. While he was still the same useless guy with no talent, he remembered Mr. Mikadono telling him to support them, and Subaru's wish for him to find his own happy family. But then the worst thing hit him. He didn't even know what a happy family was. So he put on one of Subaru's old family shows, where she played a loving mother. The show was simple, full of small family moments, and it gave Yu a little comfort. But when the wedding scene came and he saw his own mother in a wedding dress, he got strangely emotional. When the sisters came home, they saw Yu crying in front of the TV. Kazuki saw Subaru on the screen and figured Yu was missing his mother, so she gently told him he didn't need to force himself to do chores just to get their acceptance. Miwa agreed, and Nico bluntly said he could just live as a freeloader, since they never expected more from him anyway. That word hit Yu hard, and he told them he didn't want to just be a freeloader. He explained that he used to think he and his mother could never connect because she was so talented and he was nothing like her, but later he realized they weren't so different. The problem was, they never fixed their bond before Subaru passed away. Yu said he didn't want the same thing to happen with the sisters, so he wanted to become a happy family with them. The girls froze because the timing was terrible. Subaru's wedding scene was playing on the TV, and all three sisters immediately took it the wrong way, thinking Yu wanted to marry them to make his own happy family. They panicked, imagined themselves in wedding dresses for a cursed second, then shouted that he would never become their husband. Yu couldn't figure out why they were acting so weird and just asked Nico her birthday, because he wanted to know who would be older if they were siblings, which only annoyed them more and made them leave. Later, Nico was in the bath, but couldn't get Yu out of her mind, wondering how he could act so harmless while living with three girls. Suddenly, Yu screamed from the kitchen, so Nico ran out in the towel and found Yu panicking because there was no bread for sandwiches. She scolded him for crying over something so stupid, but Yu scolded her back for being barely covered and said she could catch a cold, which made Nico run away embarrassed. She bumped into Miwa, who saw her red face, and Nico blamed the bath, but Miwa didn't buy it. Then Yu brought the laundry, and when Miwa took it from him, their hands touched, making her flustered too. Nico saw this and asked if Miwa liked Yu, and Miwa caught the word and realized Nico had exposed herself. Both started arguing and denying everything. Kazuki showed up and mocked them for fighting over a useless guy. Then Yu asked Kazuki to help put a pot on the top shelf because he couldn't reach it, so Kazuki helped easily, and Yu thanked her with a bright smile. Kazuki tried to stay calm, but her face turned red too. Nico and Miwa saw it, and now all three sisters started fighting. Yu scolded them for fighting, having no idea he was the reason, which just made them more irritated. After they left, Yu cleaned the messy room again and found a childhood photo of the three sisters smiling together, and he couldn't believe they used to be so close. He asked each sister if the photo was hers, but all three denied it, so Yu realized one of them was lying. One of them still missed the old days and wanted their sister bond back, just like Yu wanted a real family. The next morning, before Yu could even look for the owner, the sisters told him they would all be out over the weekend for competitions and work. Yu checked their destinations and noticed something interesting, so that night he gave them warm milk and told them he had booked their hotel rooms. Miwa complained about hotel food, and Yu teased her for already missing his cooking, which she denied, but her face said otherwise, and the other two weren't much different. The next day, Miwa crushed her shogi opponents easily, but on the way to the hotel, she saw the Cherry Blossom Festival and remembered going there as a child with her sisters. At the hotel, she found Kazuki checking in, and neither could figure out how this happened. Then Nico showed up too. They realized all three of their events were in the same town. Then Yu arrived and scolded them for not even knowing where their own sisters had gone, and revealed he had booked them all in the same room so they could spend time together like real sisters. The girls got angry, but Yu announced himself as their festival guide and suggested they visit the Cherry Blossom Festival like before. They refused because their big events were the next day, so Yu mentioned a shrine famous for giving luck to competitors. Nico said real champions didn't need luck, but Yu showed her that many famous winners had visited that shrine. Then he showed them the festival food, which worked better than the shrine. Kazuki agreed first, but only if everyone dressed properly, so Yu took them to a kimono rental shop. Kazuki and Miwa were quickly dressed in elegant outfits, but Nico refused. The shop owner offered her a masculine style, which reminded Nico how people pushed her toward tomboy looks as a child, even though she wanted to wear cute clothes. Then Yu picked a soft, feminine kimono for her and said it would suit her, so Nico finally tried it on. And when she came out, everyone froze because she looked shockingly beautiful. The sisters and Yu arrived at the Cherry Blossom Festival, but Kazuki immediately got stuck in a crowd of fans. Everyone praised her acting and wanted her attention, while Nico, Miwa, and Yu stood off to the side. Yu got angry because he brought them here so the sisters could spend time together, not so Kazuki could go back into star mode, but Kazuki handled her fans so smoothly that Yu decided not to stop her. Nearby, a girl refused to join the crowd, saying Kazuki didn't matter to her, but as she tried to leave, her sandal broke and she almost fell. Kazuki caught her before she hit the ground and carried her away like a prince, and the girl was instantly shaken, even though a second ago she acted like she didn't care. Kazuki sat her down safely, and her fans loved her even more. When Kazuki tried to return to the crowd, Yu suddenly pulled her behind the bushes. Kazuki started scolding him, but Yu gave her festival snacks and told her to enjoy the night properly. Kazuki found him weird again, but Yu focused more on her feet. He had noticed the sandal straps were hurting her, and when he checked, her foot was already wounded. Kazuki acted fine and said she had to be everyone's prince, so she couldn't ask for help with something so small. Yu laughed at her dumb pride and explained that even a prince needs help sometimes, then put a bandage on her foot, and Kazuki went quiet, embarrassed. She told him he was strange for noticing such small things, but still let him help. After that, they returned to Nico and Miwa, who were playing a fish catching game. Nico was failing badly and got angry at the tiny fish like they had insulted her family. Kazuki now wore a mask, so fans wouldn't recognize her again. The sisters laughed at her mask, but the mask worked, and they started playing in teams. At first, it seemed like a normal festival game, but the sisters quickly turned it into a serious battle. Miwa teased Kazuki, Nico got more aggressive, and Kazuki acted calm, but was actually enjoying herself. Yu realized he couldn't keep up with their competitive madness, so he quietly went to prepare his next plan. He went to the festival's main event, the Lotus Crossing Challenge, where the winner had to jump across lotus-shaped platforms in a pond to reach the end gate. The prize was a photo with the Golden Guardian, which mattered because the sisters had taken that photo together as kids, and Yu wanted to recreate that memory. The problem was, the challenge was brutal. Some lotus platforms sank as soon as you stepped on them, and one competitor after another fell into the pond. The hosts even said nobody had cleared the challenge in years, except for 3 little sisters who once won it together. Yu realized those were Kazuki, Nico, and Miwa. When it was Yu's turn, he fell right away, but unlike the others, he didn't give up. He kept falling over and over until the crowd started to worry about him. It started to rain, but Yu still refused to quit. The hosts offered him the prize by default, since everyone else had given up, but Yu refused. He imagined how the sisters must have worked together using their talents and timing, then gave it one last try. Somehow, after so many failures, he reached the gate and won. The host told him to take the photo, but Yu said he had to bring the sisters first. He ran back into the rain, but the festival was closing early, stalls were shutting down, and the place was almost empty. Yu realized he had messed up. He brought the sisters here, then left them alone and wasted the whole night chasing his idea. Just when he thought they might have gone back without him, all 3 sisters showed up with umbrellas and told him they weren't cruel enough to abandon him. Kazuki reminded him he was their festival guide, so he should finish his job properly. Yu got emotional, but then all 3 offered to share their umbrella with him at the same time, and when they realized what they were doing, they started blushing. After an argument and a round of rock, paper, scissors, Nico ended up walking with Yu, and her heart beat faster than she wanted to admit. Back at the hotel, the sisters bathed together, and Nico kept thinking about that walk, unable to figure out why she got so nervous around Yu. Kazuki and Miwa noticed her strange mood and teased her, which only made her more defensive. But after their bath, they saw Yu still dirty and wet in the lobby. Yu admitted he forgot to book his own room because he was too focused on arranging things for the sisters, and said he would just find somewhere else, even if it was a cheap cafe. The sisters looked at him like he was a hopeless idiot. Kazuki stopped him, and soon Yu was staying in their room because none of them could leave him out in the rain. Now a new problem started. Yu needed a robe before taking a bath, and every sister got flustered around him. Kazuki got embarrassed when he came close, Miwa panicked when their faces almost touched while searching, and Nico froze when Yu reached over her to grab a robe from the shelf. When Yu went to shower, the girls realized that sharing a room with him was more dangerous than the festival. That night, Yu slept peacefully on the floor, happy that he got a new photo with the sisters and the Golden Guardian. The old photo disappeared, but a note said the real owner had taken it back, and Yu smiled, because that meant one of them cared enough to claim it. On the other side, the sisters couldn't sleep. They talked about the festival, Nico's kimono, Kazuki acting like a normal sister instead of a star, and Miwa getting excited over games even though she was bad at them. Miwa quietly held the old photo with the new one, and seeing both pictures, the sisters realized Yu really had brought them closer, even if his methods were stupid. The next day, all 3 crushed their events, proving that even after a messy festival night, they were still terrifying prodigies. After the festival trip, the sisters got a little closer again, and you felt good seeing them act like real sisters. He remembered he promised to make them a great dinner, so after school he bought ingredients and rushed home to prepare a proper feast. But when he arrived at the mansion, he found out the girls were already home. He noticed a fourth pair of shoes, and inside, he saw the sister standing quietly in front of a serious man. When the man spoke, you realized this was Mr. Mikadono, their father. You quickly greeted him and thanked him for letting him stay there. Mikadono offered condolences for Subaru's death, but then said that if you worked hard, Subaru's talent should live on through him. You felt crushed inside, because this man was also looking for Subaru's talent in him. Kazuki reported on her acting, Nico talked about her tournament, and Miwa gave a shogi update, but all three spoke like students answering a strict teacher, not daughters talking to their father. You noticed how tense they looked. Mikadono was about to leave. You asked him to stay for dinner, since he had planned to cook for everyone, but Mr. Mikadono said he had already heard what he came for. Then he noticed the festival mask, and you explained happily that he took the girls to the festival so they could remember their childhood and take a picture at the Lucky Shrine. Hearing this didn't make Mr. Mikadono happy. Instead, he got angry and said his daughters didn't need luck because real talent only grew from hard work. Then he turned to you and said he had looked into him as well. Even though you was Subaru's son, he had no real achievements, and Mr. Mikadono called him talentless and said there was no place for someone average like him in their house. He broke the mask and grabbed Yu's shoulder, and before he could throw you out, the sisters stepped in. They defended you and said that while he had no special talent, he supported them with cooking, cleaning, and daily life, which let them focus on their work. They were embarrassed saying all this, but still admitted you helped them stay in their best condition. Their words hit you hard, because for the first time, someone openly said they needed him. Mikadono let you stay, but warned the girls to stop wasting time at festivals and focus only on their talents. After he left, you asked them to eat dinner, but Nico quietly said they couldn't do that anymore. A week passed, and everything went back to how it was before. You ate alone again. Nico practiced until late. Kazuki pushed herself in rehearsals, and Miwa stayed busy with shogi training. But now their old food didn't taste the same. Nico's protein meal felt bland, Kazuki's healthy drink felt empty, and Miwa missed the pudding you made. You also felt lost, because Mr. Mikadono's words made him wonder if he was slowing the sisters down, but then he remembered Subaru's wish for him to make a happy family and decided this wasn't over yet. The next morning, the girls left for school, and Nico looked back sadly because you didn't give them the usual goodbye. At lunch, Nico went to get her protein bar from her bag, but found a homemade lunchbox instead. Her teammates looked at her with envy, but Nico quickly protected it. Kazuki and Miwa also got packed lunches made for their needs, and all three realized you had woken up early to make them. Meanwhile, you was sleeping in class, completely drained from cooking since early morning. That evening, you saw the three empty lunchboxes and felt relieved. The sisters called him and said they would fight for his right to stay, as long as he kept supporting their daily life and kept them in top condition. You was happy, because to him, it felt like acceptance. He said he would keep making lunch for them because they were family, but the girls quickly corrected him that he was just their supporter. The next day, you gave them fresh lunchboxes and sent them off with the usual goodbye. The girls acted normal, but all three left with red faces. Later, each sister dealt with her own pressure. Kazuki practiced her first feminine role, which made her nervous because she was used to playing prince-like characters, and Nico got a call from her old mentor, who said he would come to watch the tournament and expected her to win. Miwa faced a shogi trainer, who pushed her to think about her future path. When the girls came home, they brought their worries with them, but in the kitchen, Yu was making udon from scratch. While working, he slipped, and the girls laughed, which eased their pressure for a moment. At dinner, the udon tasted ordinary, and all three noticed. But instead of hating it, they realized that something average made with care could still be good. After dinner, Kazuki offered to help Yu wash dishes, saying she wanted to work on her feminine side, but Yu told her washing dishes had nothing to do with gender. While helping, Kazuki admitted she was anxious about the audition, but seeing Yu at home made her feel calm. Then she noticed cuts and burns on his hands, and Yu said he wasn't a great cook, he just kept trying. Suddenly, Yu slipped, got a nosebleed, and Kazuki rushed to help, but she also slipped, and the two accidentally kissed. Yu panicked and apologized, saying it was an accident. Kazuki acted calm and said it was nothing, but inside she wasn't calm at all. The next day, kissing scenes and Miwa's pudding comments kept bothering Kazuki. Later, Yu said they should forget the kiss, since maybe it didn't mean anything to her, and after he left, Kazuki got angry. During rehearsal, she couldn't focus on the kissing scene, because Yu's face kept coming to her mind, and her coach warned her that personal distractions could ruin her acting. That night, Kazuki asked Yu to make stamina meals, and Yu was happy happy that things were getting back to normal. But then Kazuki suddenly asked if he was free on Sunday, and when Yu said yes, she told him to go on a date with her, which left Yu completely frozen. Kazuki suddenly asked Yu to go on a date, but Nico and Miwa overheard everything from upstairs. Neither could believe Kazuki had asked someone like Yu out, so both felt jealous and worried but hid in their rooms before they got caught. Yu also thought it was probably because of the accidental kiss, but Kazuki quickly explained the real reason. She had an audition for a feminine heroine role, but she had played prince-like roles most of her life. Her acting coach said personal experience could affect performance, so Kazuki wanted to experience a real date to understand the heroine's feelings. Yu supported her right away because Kazuki's dedication was serious, even if her plan was awkward. Kazuki warned him not to tell Nico or Miwa or get the wrong idea, but Yu decided that if she wanted a date, he would make her feel a real one. The next morning, Nico casually asked Yu if he had any plans for Sunday. Yu lied and said nothing special, and Nico got angry because she knew he was hiding the date. Miwa also remembered hearing Yu promise Kazuki a special day, so both sisters were in a bad mood at dinner. Yu got scared seeing the tension, while Kazuki secretly signaled the date to him, which made Nico and Miwa even more annoyed. On Sunday, Yu waited for Kazuki, while Nico and Miwa stalked him in silly disguises. Both tried to make the other look weird, but still looked good. Then Kazuki arrived in a feminine outfit and long wig, leaving Yu speechless. She tried to act cute, but her usual prince habits kept coming out. Yu praised her anyway, and the two started their pretend date, while two jealous spies followed them. First, they went to the aquarium. Kazuki tried to act like a soft heroine, but her body kept moving like a prince. While going down the stairs, she naturally guided Yu instead of letting him guide her, so Yu reminded her that today, she was the princess, not the prince, and they switched roles. During the dolphin show, Kazuki tried to look cute, but when water splashed toward them, she protected Yu. People around called her a cool girlfriend, but Yu understood this wasn't the heroine act Kazuki wanted. The date kept getting worse. Small things kept messing up. Kazuki's feet hurt from her sandals, and she got more anxious. When Yu went to the bathroom, Kazuki looked at her reflection and thought she was failing again. And at that moment, a shady talent scout approached and pushed her to join his agency. Kazuki refused, but he wouldn't back off and even grabbed her hand. Yu came back just in time and stopped him. The man thought Yu was her younger brother, which hit Yu's pride hard. Yu tried to act mature and said Kazuki was on a date with him, but when the scout still insisted, Yu quickly said Kazuki couldn't go with him because he planned to marry her one day. The crowd took it as a romantic confession. Yu, embarrassed, told Kazuki to forget it, but Kazuki clearly couldn't. Then Yu grabbed her hand and took her away, and neither of them let go. People still thought they were siblings, so Yu held her hand more firmly to make it look like a real date. Kazuki got flustered, but thought this nervous feeling might be useful for her role. After that, Yu took her to see a romance movie. The lead actress was Kazuki's senior, who had moved from male roles to a feminine heroine role. Yu thought this would help Kazuki, but the plan backfired. During the movie, Kazuki noticed her senior still felt a lot like her old male roles, and after the film, people criticized the actress for not being cute enough as a heroine. Kazuki got scared because she saw her possible future. She remembered her father saying she shouldn't fail, and Yu realized he had made a big mistake. To save the date, Yu took her to the Ferris wheel. Kazuki and the two stalking sisters thought it was too obvious, but then they heard people say couples who confess at the top become real lovers. Kazuki tried to run, but Yu pulled her inside. In the cabin, Kazuki thought about her career. She started young because of her height and got famous playing prince-like roles. At first she liked acting, but soon it all became pressure. Everyone expected her to succeed, and her father made failure feel like a crime. She started thinking maybe she should quit the audition before failing in public, but then she saw Yu shaking badly. He said he wasn't scared of heights, but the glass floor was terrifying. Kazuki scolded him for choosing this ride, but Yu said he just wanted to make the date perfect. At the top, he tried to give her a strong speech, but messed up his words and ended up looking stupid. But instead of ruining the mood, his failure actually calmed Kazuki. She realized Yu failed all the time, but never stopped trying. Yu sat next to her and showed her photos from the date. Every photo was from moments where Kazuki failed to act like the perfect heroine, but in each picture, she looked real, expressive, and beautiful. Yu explained that failure would hurt, but it could also show her the people who accepted her flaws. Kazuki didn't want to admit it, but Yu's words got through to her. After the ride, Kazuki felt lighter. She thanked Yu and said she wanted to act in her own way, not just how others expected. Yu told her to remember this date if she ever got stuck. Kazuki got flustered, then suddenly pulled him close. Yu and the hidden sisters thought she might kiss him, but she just told him the accidental kiss was her first too, and she couldn't pretend it meant nothing. Then Kazuki took off her wig, returned to her usual self, and left with new confidence for rehearsal. Nico and Miwa understood something had changed in Kazuki. Later, Yu got home late and started making dinner quickly. Nico and Miwa greeted him warmly, and Yu got so happy he asked them to say it again. They acted annoyed, but inside, both wanted Yu to support them the same way he did for Kazuki. A few days later, during exam season, Yu and the sisters were heading to school. Kazuki and Miwa looked relaxed since geniuses didn't need last-minute panic, but Yu and Nico were cramming with notes like two hopeless students just trying to survive. Kazuki mocked them for being dumb, but when she saw Yu and Nico standing close and sharing notes, she and Miwa both got strangely jealous. For a second, even being stupid seemed like a good life. Suddenly, a thief ran past and bumped into Yu. A woman screamed that her bag was stolen, so Yu tried to chase the thief, but his heroic run looked more like a slow emergency. Nico got in front of the thief and attacked, but the man used martial arts to block her attack. Yu got worried, but Kazuki and Miwa stayed calm, knowing Nico wouldn't be beaten so easily. Nico used the wall to push herself forward and finally took the thief down. She returned the bag, and the crowd praised her, but while everyone focused on the victim, Nico had a small cut on her hand. Yu noticed it right away and pulled out a bandage. Nico said it was nothing, but Yu still carefully treated her, which made her flustered. Meanwhile, the thief tried to run again, but another boy stopped him with a clean strike. The crowd recognized him as Hayato Tatsumi, the national martial arts champion from Uwayama High. The sisters knew him too, since he used to visit their house. When Nico called him by his first name, Yu felt uneasy. Then Tatsumi said he came to get Nico. Later, Tatsumi and his team came to Saika Academy for a week of joint training. The martial arts team wondered why Yu was there, but Yu refused to leave after seeing Nico and Tatsumi's closeness. The vice captain explained that Nico and Tatsumi trained at the same dojo as kids, and also said Tatsumi was bad news because girls gathered around him and boys got jealous. Nico challenged Tatsumi to a spar like old times. Tatsumi acted like he didn't want to hurt a girl, but Nico insisted. The match started, and Tatsumi easily defeated her. Nico wanted a rematch, but Yu stepped in and scolded Tatsumi for attacking too hard. Tatsumi was confused about how the small guy could act brave in front of him. When things calmed down, Nico told Yu that Tatsumi was her hero. When she first went to the dojo, she beat the boys there, and later they all ganged up on her, but Tatsumi saved her and defeated them, which is why Nico started admiring him. Yu realized that even a strong girl like Nico had someone she looked up to. Then Tatsumi said he wanted Nico to join his school, which used to be all boys but was now co-ed. He had already talked to Mr. Study, Mikadono, and said that if Nico wanted to get stronger, she should leave Saika, because her current team was too weak and couldn't help her improve. Nico's teammates got angry, but couldn't deny it, since they knew Nico was carrying the whole team. The truth hurt, but they admitted maybe it was better for her growth to go with Tatsumi. Nico tried to defend them, but the team already felt like they were holding her back. After school, Yu walked home with Nico and asked how she felt about the offer. Nico said Iwayama seemed perfect for a martial artist, with proper athlete rooms, food support, and strong training partners. Yu was impressed, but then realized it was a boarding school, meaning Nico would have to leave home. Nico admitted her old self would have accepted right away, but now she was stuck, because she didn't want to leave her sisters, or Yu. In front of the mansion, Nico finally said she wanted to stay with Yu, but before Yu could answer, her whole team suddenly appeared and said they wanted her to stay too, then ran away in embarrassment. Yu told Nico her teammates wanted her around, but Nico was still bothered because Yu hadn't clearly said what he wanted. At dinner, Kazuki suddenly let Nico use her expensive shampoo, which she usually protected like treasure. Miwa also shared her food, even though she never shared food with anyone. Nico got confused, and Yu explained that now everyone knew about Tatsumi trying to recruit her, so the sisters were acting nice because they didn't want Nico to leave. Nico felt happy, but still kept thinking about what Yu really wanted. The next day, Nico told Tatsumi she wouldn't join his school. Her team celebrated, but Tatsumi got angry and said she was choosing weak people over real growth. He asked who made her so soft. Nico thought about her sisters and Yu, but before she could answer, Tatsumi mocked her for wanting to live like a normal girl instead of chasing greatness. At that moment, Yu suddenly came out of a locker, because the idiot had been hiding there the whole time. He told Tatsumi to stop insulting Nico, then declared that if Nico needed someone stronger than Tatsumi to stay at Saika, he would prove it himself. He challenged Tatsumi to a duel, and also said he wanted to stay with Nico. Nico blushed, and for about 2 seconds everyone was moved, but then they remembered Yu was completely outmatched. Still, the team supported him, since it was Subaru's son, even if his talent was missing from birth. Tatsumi accepted the duel, and the match was set for the last day of joint practice. That night, Nico trained Yu seriously, because now her future depended on this disaster. She taught him footwork, but Yu moved like he was dancing. She explained that Tatsumi's long kicks were his biggest weapon, so Yu had to get close. When Yu suddenly rushed her, Nico reflexively punched him. During a break, Yu said he knew Tatsumi was way above him, but he still wanted to fight because he wanted Nico to stay with him. Nico blushed, but Yu ruined the moment by adding that he meant her sisters too. He said he liked seeing all three sisters leave the house every morning and wanted Nico to honestly say what she wanted. Nico finally admitted she liked his morning goodbyes too and wanted to stay with her sisters and Yu. At that moment, Kazuki and Miwa got caught eavesdropping. Instead of hiding, both said they would help Yu win. On the other side, Tatsumi opened Yu's challenge letter and saw there was a condition. He couldn't use his dominant hand and leg in the duel. Since he had already accepted the challenge, he was now stuck with that condition. After practice, Yu and Nico came home to find Kazuki and Miwa waiting in aprons, saying they wanted to support him however they could. Yu felt touched, but as soon as he saw their cooking, his soul almost left his body. The food looked so cursed that even Nico didn't know if they should eat it or steal it away somewhere. Kazuki and Miwa got depressed after failing at something so basic. Yu felt bad and offered to teach them properly. Both acted like they didn't need help, but Yu got Nico to admit she wanted to taste their cooking, so the two finally agreed. Yu started with simple things, teaching Kazuki to follow a recipe and boil vegetables so she wouldn't destroy them. Kazuki learned quickly and got flustered when Yu praised her. Then he taught Miwa to peel vegetables so she wouldn't cut her fingers, and Miwa followed so seriously that she accidentally called him sir, then turned red from embarrassment. Watching them struggle, Yu realized prodigies could look pathetic when trying something new, but the important thing was that they still tried. After a lot of mess, the two made Nico's favorite dish. Nico realized it was made just for her, and honestly praised it after tasting, making Kazuki and Miwa so happy it was like they'd won a trophy. Yu tried to eat too, but his arm shook from training, so Miwa immediately fed him with her spoon. Everyone froze, but Miwa didn't care and told him to eat. Yu praised the taste, which made Miwa happy, and Kazuki didn't want to be left behind, so she fed him too. Both realized that serving someone felt strangely good. Nico kept watching, irritated, because her sisters were now pampering the same guy she was training. The next day, Kazuki and Miwa kept bringing Yu towels, drinks, and snacks during practice. Nico, annoyed, said they should stop for today, but Yu wanted to continue, so she got encouraged and trained him even harder. At school, Hayato wondered why Nico had changed so much. She used to care only about strength, but now she was refusing his offer. He met Nico and said she had become weak and was hiding behind others because she couldn't make her own decision. He said after he defeated Yu, Nico would join his school. At home, Nico noticed Yu's punches were getting stronger, but Hayato's words kept bothering her. She apologized to Yu for dragging him into her problem and explained that her father and Hayato always pushed her to be strong and everyone only saw her as a fighter. But inside, Nico liked cute things, pretty clothes, and normal girly stuff. She kept hiding this side because people only wanted to see her as strong. Yu told her he challenged Hayato by his own choice, and then said Nico was more feminine than she thought. At first, he found her scary, but later he saw that Nico cared about beauty, flowers, and her looks. Nico got embarrassed and angry, but Yu said there was nothing weird about it. The real Nico was both strong and beautiful. Nico got so flustered she punched him, but his words stayed in her mind. She admitted she still couldn't decide what she wanted, so she needed Yu's help. Yu said they would fight Hayato together, but he had a plan. On the day of the match, Kazuki and Miwa couldn't focus on their work because they wanted to watch Yu and Nico. In the dojo, Yu shocked everyone by asking Hayato for 2 matches. First, Hayato would fight him, then Nico. Yu explained that if Nico beat Hayato, she would have no reason to leave. Everyone saw him as shameless, but Yu said he didn't care if it was to protect Nico. His plan was to weaken Hayato first, so Nico would have a chance. Before the match, Nico saw his shaking hands, held them, blushed, and pushed him forward to encourage him. Yu tried to act brave, but the match ended almost immediately. Hayato beat him badly, which surprised no one since Yu had only trained for a week. Then Nico stepped up. She was nervous, but Yu told her he would wait for her, which gave her strength. Nico attacked at close range because Hayato's kicks were dangerous at long range, but Hayato blocked everything. He had watched Nico fight for years, so he knew her style well. He easily countered and took 2 points, leaving Nico just 1 point away from losing. Nico started to think maybe Hayato was right, and she needed to leave to get stronger, but then Yu and Nico's team started cheering like idiots. Nico got embarrassed, then laughed. She remembered Yu saying her different sides were real too, and something inside her changed. This time, her movements changed. Hayato expected the usual punch, but she kicked. He expected a straight attack, but Nico used a different angle. The team was shocked because Nico was finally fighting freely, instead of just using textbook moves. Yu noticed she was smiling too. Kazuki and Miwa arrived just in time to see Nico land the final hit. Hayato fell, and Nico won. The whole dojo filled with cheers. Yu ran to her with a towel, and as soon as Nico saw him, she started crying. She was embarrassed, but leaned on his shoulder and let herself cry over a victory for the first time. Later, Hayato told Nico that Yu had done more than anyone thought. He showed her a bruise on his leg and explained that Yu kept attacking that same spot, which made Nico's final hit possible. Then Hayato admitted he wanted Nico with him because he liked her romantically. Nico got flustered, but Hayato understood that the one Nico wanted to stay with was at Saika. That night, when Nico got home, a small party was ready for her. Yu wanted to celebrate her win and her decision to stay. When Nico saw his injured hands, she told him not to push himself so much and said she would do anything to repay him. Kazuki and Miwa quickly made the same offer because they didn't want Nico getting special treatment alone. Yu acted suspicious, which made all three panic, but then he just said he wanted them to go to the theme park with him. He said it had always been his dream to go there with family. At that moment, Nico's father called. Yu took the phone and said even prodigies needed a break or they would burn out. Mikadono asked to speak to Nico, then praised her for defeating Hayato and admitted she didn't need to transfer anymore. Since Yu's support had clearly helped, he gave them a day off. Yu excitedly announced they would go to the theme park on Sunday. Over the next few days, all three sisters prepared like they were going to war, even though they were just going to a theme park. Kazuki studied how to look cute without ruining her actress image. Nico looked at fashion magazines because she wanted to try a soft style again, and Miwa read guides on how to get a boy's attention, which was funny because she treated it like a shogi strategy. On Sunday, Yu arrived at the theme park first and waited for them with pure excitement. Miwa showed up first and covered his eyes from behind. Yu recognized her right away, and when he saw her outfit, he praised her casual look. Miwa felt proud because she had chosen a practical and cute style, which she thought was the perfect theme park outfit. Then Kazuki arrived in a stylish disguise to avoid fan attention. Miwa scolded her for looking like she came for a photo shoot, not the theme park, but as soon as Yu said the outfit looked good on her, Kazuki got flustered. At that moment, Nico arrived, and everyone stopped. She wore a soft girly outfit and looked almost like a princess. When everyone asked what happened to her, Nico said she just wanted to try new things. Yu praised her too, and Nico turned red because she couldn't hide her happiness. Yu thought it was just a family trip, but the girls had a different mission. Since Yu had made them blush so many times, they secretly planned to make him blush this time. Their first stop was the haunted house, which Kazuki picked right away. Nico and Miwa realized she was making the first move, so both got annoyed. Kazuki's plan was to act like a scared heroine and cling to Yu at the scary parts. But as soon as the performer showed up, her actress brain turned on. Instead of screaming, she started judging their makeup, timing, and acting. And then she remembered she was supposed to look cute and scared, but when she looked for Yu, he was already crouched on the floor like a defeated child. Kazuki tried to calm him, and Yu pretended he only slipped because it was dark, but as soon as the next scare came, Yu screamed and clung to her, so instead of being protected, Kazuki ended up protecting him. When they came out, Yui was on Kazuki's back and still shaking. He apologized for being useless, but said riding on her back made him feel safe. Kazuki blushed hard, and Nico and Miwa realized Kazuki hadn't won at all. She was defeated by Yu's weakness. After that, Miwa took a chance with the roller coaster. She acted scared and asked Yu to sit with her. Kazuki and Nico waited outside, so Miwa thought the field was clear. Her plan was simple. After the ride, she would act weak, and Yu would comfort her. But as soon as the ride ended, Yu disappeared from her side. Miwa found him lying pale and dizzy on a bench. He admitted he was scared of roller coasters, but still rode because he wanted to ride with her. Miwa got annoyed because her whole act failed, but Yu's honest words hit her instead. She let him rest his head on her lap to help him recover. Yu thanked her, and now Miwa was the one blushing like an idiot. Only Nico was left. She took Yu to the teacup ride, thinking she could spin it fast and lean on Yu herself, but as soon as the ride started, Yu spun the cup too hard. Instead of Nico falling onto him, Yu almost crashed into her. The cup spun faster, their faces got dangerously close, and Nico thought something might actually happen, but before it did, Yu almost fell out, so she grabbed his collar and saved him. Her plan died right there. After failing on the rides, the sisters tried again with food. Miwa wiped cream from Yu's face and ate it to embarrass him, but Yu did the same to her, and Miwa folded instantly. Kazuki tried to share a drink with 2 straws, but panicked and pushed it away before anything happened. Nico tried to act cool, but got distracted by churros because she had secretly always wanted to try them. Yu offered to share, and when she finally ate, she looked happier than she wanted to admit. The whole day went like this. The girls kept trying to charm Yu, but every time, without even knowing, Yu won. He praised them, included everyone, cared about them, and somehow turned every attack back on them. The park was about to close, and the sisters were frustrated because Yu hadn't blushed even once. Then they saw Yu watching a family take a photo together, and his face looked soft, so Nico finally understood. Yu didn't bring them for a date. He really just wanted to spend a day at the theme park with his family. That's why Nico took his phone and said they should take a picture too, so all 4 got close and took a selfie. After that, Nico said she had more fun than she expected. Kazuki and Miwa agreed and admitted they would never have come here without Yu. They thanked him for supporting them and helping them grow in their lives. This time, Yu finally turned bright red. The sisters stared at him in shock, realizing they wasted wasted the whole day on complicated tricks when honest gratitude was enough to destroy him. On the train ride, everyone fell asleep from exhaustion. Miwa woke up first and saw Yu, Nico, and Kazuki sleeping next to her. For a moment, she smiled because they looked like a real family, but then she saw a poster for her upcoming shogi match, and reality came back. Deep down, Miwa wanted this peaceful day to last a little longer, because when she got home, she would have to face the world of geniuses again.